Hey, what's up everyone, this is Dream. So today we're doing Many Faces. This game will take you about 10 minutes to 30 minutes depending on your skill level. There's 14 achievements. The first achievement you're going to have to do, because the game forces you, is to complete the tutorial. So in the tutorial, just follow what's on screen, then destroy these targets here, and that'll progress through the tutorial, getting you your first achievement. After doing the tutorial, we're going to start a new game, and I suggest going on easy just to get through this game as quickly as possible. Now the game does use a kind of random generator campaign, so you're not likely to have the same playthrough that I did, and so that might net you some bad results as far as what boss you end up having to fight the first time. You can get the kill 3 bosses, which is likely to be your final achievement. You can do it over the span of 100 playthroughs if you want, or if you have to. So hopefully you get good bosses to start with. Hopefully you get the same bosses that I got so that you can just kind of follow how I fought them. Now, every time you complete a level, there's a chest that will kind of spawn somewhere, and inside that chest is a hat, and the hats kind of work like a... they just give you a boost in some manner, each hat giving you a different boost. The 2 hats that I would suggest is either the Halo or the Ghost hat. They're, from my experience in 2 playthroughs of this game, were the kind of the best ones to run with, but it's going to come down to luck of what you get out of the chest. It's not the same every time, unfortunately. And also, if you can beat the first boss, it's better not to quit out after defeating the first boss and then just doing a new run, because you will get your hearts increased by 1. So that could help you potentially with future bosses, whereas if you were to start a new level or a new campaign, your first boss might be a total dick and pretty hard to beat, which I only found out of the 2 playthroughs that I did that there was one boss that was kind of difficult. He's in this playthrough, so I'll kind of mention him when he pops up. The other thing too is this game's pretty damn easy as long as you get used to the roll. The roll can negate all incoming damage during the animation of the roll, but you do drop your hat on the ground. So then you just have to go pick it back up. It's not really that big of a deal. The aim feels a little off too at sometimes, like it's a little bit hard to hit enemies, so then that's where the Ghost hat kind of helps. The Ghost hat allows you to shoot through solid blocks. So the blocks there that are falling on me are they're considered see-through blocks, and those ones you're not able to stand on unless you have a certain hat. And then you can shoot through those ones, but the more solid blocks you can't shoot through, so that's where Ghost really helps there. And for most of the bosses, the strategy is to just sit in a corner, pick left or right, and then if you see an attack coming in, just roll through it and you'll be fine. This boss was pretty easy. He spawns some enemies kind of around in the area, which you'll want to take out. The water, I do believe, hurts you, so you don't want to find yourself in that. But overall, that was probably tied with the easiest boss that I experienced in the 2 playthroughs. As you can see there, after defeating the boss, I now have a total of 4 hearts, which will help me in case I get a pretty bad boss later on. But I find that the bosses I kind of got stuck with in this playthrough weren't too bad. My first playthrough, because I like to do a blind run on one profile, and then when I'm ready to upload these, I do a run that I'm more familiar with the game, just to try to make the video go more smoothly and not have to edit as much as possible. So every 4 levels that you complete, you'll have to deal with a boss, and the final achievement that you'll be getting, almost guaranteed to be your final achievement, is to kill 3 bosses. So we'll kind of resume commentary as those bosses come up, because there's not really much to talk about in the ways of just killing the basic enemies here. It's really not too difficult. Avoid spikes, avoid water, and avoid their shots. For the most part, try to come into the boss fights with as much health as possible. The Halo hat allows you to have a retry, which is not something you get normally. So if you die, regardless of when or where you die, you will have to restart the playthrough over again. So out of the 2 playthroughs that I did, this was the boss that I found the most challenging out of the probably about 5 to 6 different variants of bosses that I did fight. He spawns mobs that you'll want to destroy. They kind of target in at you, and when he goes over to the left or right side, that doesn't do damage to you, but it pushes you. And it's really actually easy to go against it. I just didn't know at first that it didn't do damage to me, so I was also trying to avoid the attack, which was what was pitting me into the spikes. So unfortunately, I've lost my hat to the spikes. They're not retrievable, not without taking damage anyways. Basically just hold over towards the direction of the ghost and continue shooting, and as soon as you feel the push has stopped, then let go of the analog stick, because you can go too far towards him and land the spike hit proximal to him. And for the debris that he kind of drops on your head in between going to the left and right, just roll through it and you should be fine. You'd only have to dodge one essentially. So this is the final boss of my run. This is the Tough Love. For this boss, you need to dodge the incoming hearts. They have blast radius on them, so you'll need to be really careful and try to stay as far away from the hearts as possible. And then he also has an attack where he kind of hits the ground and creates these pillars, as you can see there. And what you'll want to do for them, I was just tanking them because I was pretty confident that I'd be able to kill him without being hit by his other projectiles, but for those, you just want to roll through them to avoid the attack. Plus I also had the Halo, so I wasn't too worried about dying. If you run into any bosses that I didn't run into during my playthrough, your best bet is just to learn the dodge timing and roll through most of their attacks. Now with that achievement, that's all 14 achievements in a completion time of roughly 10 minutes. $5 game. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hey there. If you liked this video, click the sleeping cat on the left. If you're an achievement/trophy hunter, click this cat on the top right. And if you're new to this channel, click the sticking out leg to subscribe.